Can you hear me? Good evening and welcome. My name is Arva Rice. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the interim chair of the Civilian Complaint Review Board. I would like to call the CCRB's February Public Board meeting to order. Will the board please introduce themselves? And I'll start to my left with Mr. Puma.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Puma. I'm the City Council designee to the board from the Borough of Manhattan. I go by he, him pronouns.
My name is John Darsh. I'm the Executive Director of the CCRB, and I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Mayu Hogan, City Council designee from Southeast Queens.
I'm Joe Fox. I'm the NYPD rep from Rockaway.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Jamat. I'm the mayoral appointee from Queens.
Pat Smith. I'm the mayoral appointee from Manhattan.
Thank you. And Frank, if you could introduce yourself as well.
Good evening, Frank Dwyer. I'm a police commissioner designee.
Thank you very much. As we are in the middle of celebrating Black History Month, is there anyone on the board who is joining us virtually? Sorry. All right. If no one is joining us on the board virtually, I will.
Is there, Ms. Northern is.
Northern and the board member, Charlie Brown.
So
Okay.
that we should let them introduce themselves.
Want to ask them again to introduce themselves?
Sure. We're going to ask those board members who are joining us virtually to introduce themselves, starting with June. We're asking the board members who are joining us virtually if they would introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm June Holden.
You. Thank you, Charlene and June. Are there any others joining us virtually?
We're still short on it.
Okay. Go into my remarks for the meeting. As we are in the middle of celebrating Black History Month and creating spaces to celebrate the immeasurable contributions Black Americans have made to this country, I also want to take some time to recognize the outsized challenges faced by Black New Yorkers and how the CCRB is working to address them. At least 42% of alleged victims in CCRB complaints are Black, while Black New Yorkers only make up 20% of the city's population. Last year was the first full year the CCRB investigated allegations of racial profiling and bias-based policing. The racial profiling team has been specifically trained to analyze evidence to recognize bias. While we were hampered in certain investigations due to lack of data, the NYPD and the CCRB signed an MOU committing to a data sharing agreement. Now that we are receiving data on these cases, a data scientist is analyzing that data to determine if there are patterns of bias by police officers. Black New Yorkers should know that if they believe they were targeted by an officer because of their race, the CCRB will investigate the case. That commitment, however, is strained by the current budget situation. The CCRB testified to the City Council in 2021 that it would need a unit of 50 people, investigators and data scientists, to effectively investigate complaints involving racial profiling and bias-based policing. Originally, the unit was funded with 30 individuals. The current budget proposal would cap the unit at 13 individuals. That is not sufficient to effectively investigate the current number of complaints we are receiving of racial profiling and bias-based policing. Furthermore, the charter now envisions that the CCRB will investigate past professional conduct of members of the NYPD who have been found to have committed acts of bias by the CCRB or other entities such as the NYPD or the courts. The CCRB has not and will not be able to conduct those investigations without significantly more resources than what was budgeted at the start of the current fiscal year, let alone the reduced support that is currently budgeted for the current and next fiscal years. The CCRB is one of the only resources for vulnerable New Yorkers, and without adequate funding, we cannot serve the community to the degree that they deserve. In order to make New York safe for all of its people, the CCRB needs to be fully funded. I will be testifying at the Public Safety Committee's budget hearing on March 20th. I look forward to continuing to advocate for the CCRB to be funded at a level that will enable it to guarantee a fair and impartial investigation to our neighbors who feel they are victims of police misconduct. I will now pass it to Executive Director Jonathan Darsh, who will speak to the recently released 2023 annual and APU report. John?
Thank you, Chair Rice. On Monday, the CCRB released the 2023 annual report along with the fourth quarter 2023 APU report. I'd like to start by thanking our policy team, who worked tirelessly to improve our reporting system and ensure that reports come out in a timely manner for the public. I would also like to thank our staff at large for the incredible work they've done, breaking a number of agency records. Our civilian assistance unit served more civilians than we ever have before, linking them to vital city services. As we discussed last month, our outreach team conducted more presentations and events than ever before. Last year, the CCRB received 5,550 complaints, a 10-year record, and a 50% increase in complaints from the year before. Despite this increase, investigators were able to decrease the average time to investigate a complaint by 123 days. The Administrative Prosecution Unit conducted 36% more trials than the year before and closed 5 times the number of cases as it did the year before. The CCRB worked with the NYPD to improve our processes, and we signed 2 new memorandums of understanding that will hopefully improve case timelines and efficiency for both agencies. The CCRB is also continuously working to improve transparency with the public. We now post redacted closing reports to our website. There are over 2,500 closing reports on our website, and we're going to continue adding them. While we saw amazing gains last year, much of this happened after we were budgeted more money and before our budget was hit with a program to eliminate the gap in November. With our new reduced budget, it would be impossible to match the work we did last year, let alone improve on it. We've already had to cut certain investigations, and we want to maintain our commitment to serve New Yorkers at a high quality. Our office is open for walk-in complainants, but it's also possible to file complaints online at nyc.gov/CCRBcomplaint, by telephone at 1-800-341-2272, or by calling 311. If anyone wishes to file a complaint today, we have 2 investigators on hand ready to take any new complaints, Rob Bryan and Emma Stardahar, and also we have Amy O'Sullivan from our CAU team to assist them. We're going to hear from folks who are online first before we listen to the folks who are here at 100 Church Street who wish to comment. Regardless of whether you're joining us online or here in person, please keep your comments to 4 minutes.
Madam Chair, may I comment on this report? First of all, I want to commend the Executive Director and the staff for the outstanding work they've done. I know how difficult this is. May I ask, how many of these 5,550 complaints were substantiated?
So the complaints received in 2023 doesn't directly correlate to the complaints closed in 2023. We did substantiate approximately 700 complaints in 2023 involving, and we substantiated at least 1 allegation against approximately 1,000 members of service in 2023.
How many were substantiated in 2022?
Hold on 1 second, I have that number for you. So We substantiated 702 complaints last year, which is down from 977 in 2022, but above the 5-year average of 509 complaints.
So, thank you very much.
Before I ask for any other comments or questions from the other members of the board, we have been joined by another board member who would like to introduce himself. Herman, if you could.
Good afternoon. My name is Herman Merritt. I'm the Brooklyn designee from the City Council.
Herman. May I ask the other members of the board if you have any other questions in regards to the report that has been submitted by our executive director?
Well, thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, John, and also to your team for all of their hard work. At this point, I'm going to ask for Venus Scantleberry, who's our Brooklyn Outreach Coordinator, if she could come and make her report. Venus?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Venus Canterbury. I'm the Brooklyn Outreach Coordinator for the Civilian Complaint Review Board, and it's great to be here. So I have a brief overview of who we are as an agency. Sorry, the clicker's not working.
Sorry, do you think you could help with online? We'll be right with you, folks.
Thank you so much.
It's working.
Okay, great. All right. So who we are. The New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board is the nation's largest independent oversight entity of the largest police force in the country. The CCRB investigates, mediates, and prosecutes complaints of misconduct against members of the NYPD. The agency is governed by a 15-member board with 5 seats appointed by the mayor, 5 appointed by New York City Council, 3 designated by the police commissioner, 1 appointed by the public advocate, and the chair is appointed jointly by the mayor and city council. What types of allegations are within the CCRB's jurisdiction? So we investigate force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, and offensive language, and we use FATO as a helpful reminder. We have an important update as of January 1st, 2024. On September 9th, 2023, the Office of Management and Budget announced citywide budget cuts. As a result, the CCRB is no longer able to fully investigate certain cases within its jurisdiction. After careful consideration, effective January 1st, 2024, the CCRB suspended investigating failure to provide right-to-know act cards with no other allegations, refused to provide name and shield number with no other allegations, discourteous words or actions with no other allegations, threats with no action with no other allegations, refused to provide a civilian complaint, property seizure with no other allegations, forcible removal to a hospital, untruthful statements, and any complaint that has only the above reference with no other allegations. The CCRB will resume investigating these cases as soon as the city allocates sufficient funding to do so. If a complaint contains one of the above allegations in addition to other allegations that still fall within the CCRB jurisdiction, every allegation in the complaint will still be investigated. How to report police misconduct. First, you can file a complaint online at our website, nyc.gov/CCRB-complaint. You can also call the CCRB at 1-800-341-CCRB. There's other ways to file. The first 4 is to call. Our hotline is 1-800-341-2272, or you can dial 311. You can visit our office at 100 Church Street, Lower Manhattan, 10th floor, New York, New York, 110-10007. Like I said previously, the most common way to file is online at nyc.gov/CCRB-complaint. In the world of social media, you can DM us, direct message us on the social medias of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CCRB_NYC, or you can mail a complaint to our office. And lastly, you can file at your local precinct. NYPD is required to accept CCRB complaints at any precinct or request a complaint form and postage-free envelope. And lastly, if you would want the outreach team to come and present at a community center, schools, religious institutions, PTA meetings, you can email us at outreach@ccrb.nyc.gov. You can also follow us on the CCRB, follow us on our socials. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook tags are at CCRB_NYC. We're doing some amazing, great work at outreach. Last week, Thursday, the unit hosted the Meyer Levin Middle School of the Performing Arts. We had 30 middle school students come and tour the agency. They spoke with the Racial Profiling Bias-Based Policing Unit, the APU, and they spoke with CAU as well. So it was great work, and the students were also very civically engaged and had lots to say. So that's the type of work that we do, and if anyone's interested, you can just email us. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Before you leave, Vita, does anyone have any questions of Ms. Canterbury? Any questions? Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. Thank you. We will now enter the public comment portion of the meeting. We will begin with those joining us virtually who would like to make a comment, followed by those who are joining us in person, as our executive director indicated. For those joining virtually, please use the raise your hand feature, and we're going to ask you to please keep your comments to 4 minutes. Marua, would you please call on the first person?
At this time, I don't see anyone who has their hand raised to speak.
Okay. All right. For those joining us in person and are interested in making a public comment, we're going to ask you to line up behind the podium and also to keep your comments to 4 minutes. I believe there are 2 folks who wanted to make comments this evening, and we're going to start with Christopher Johnson from Self.
Ready, guys? All right. Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson. I'm in my personal capacity today, but I want to make this complaint about the situation that's going on with the mayor's office and how they treat people that's not with their agenda. Now, what I'm talking about is, yesterday I was so disgusted at what I saw. I was in my personal capacity, but I'm a member of the press. I had my press pass on that yesterday, but it really doesn't matter. What I saw yesterday was so disgusting, and the stuff that I heard from a person with CNX was really disgusting what I heard. So, the NYPD, and I know the other executive detail unit that protects the mayor and certain members of the NYC mayor's office, I believe that this yesterday was like a targeted attack because they know that people are against the agenda and they won't be embarrassed. So it's ridiculous that you have members of the mayor's office executive detail that refuse to identify themselves. At the end of the day, the NYPD officers, they're all under the Right to Know Act. We have the people that like to know who these guys and gals are. These officers refuse to identify themselves. Just yesterday, there was an African-American female, and she's close to, I think she's the security detail for Phil Banks, the real commissioner of the NYPD. And then you have this Caucasian male who is part of the mayor's office executive detail. They both refuse to identify themselves. Now, the reason I want to say this is because the CCRB need to start cracking down on every member of the mayor's office, mayor's detail unit, because those guys and gals, they act real arrogant. They act like they can do what they want to do with straight impunity. They don't have to identify themselves. They can break every law they want to break because they're protecting the mayor. The mayor's not God. The mayor's only a human being. He's only elected official that only covers New York City. But it gives these members of the NYPD executive detail no right to abuse people, arrest people for no apparent reason, escort people out of public funded buildings that myself pay taxes for, everybody pay taxes for. This shouldn't be happening at all. So I believe the CCRB needs to do something with the mayor's office executive protection unit, because they're running around the city treating people like they're garbage, and nothing ever happens here, because it's some reason like, well, we come here, you guys can't do anything about it because the mayor's, it's a mayor's thing. It's not a mayor's thing, it's NYPD. Those guys and gals are still members of New York City Police Department. I know I'm a nobody in this situation, but like I said, if there's a non-profit executive director or a certain stakeholder in New York City and they got a situation with demands, the NYPD executive detail, which should be all vetted, it'll be all hell breaking loose, because those people have a lot of votes and they have a lot of political power. But folks like me who have no real political power and who have border blocks, we get scrubbed under the rug. I get scrubbed under the rug. So I have a minute left. So like I said, the NYPD executive detail needs to be checked on more by the CCRB, and this needs to be sent to the city council too. And I know when there's another public safety committee, I think it's next week on the 31st or the 1st, with Yusuf Salam, I'm gonna make this clear about the NYPD executive detail, that they're running around the city, breaking and infringing on people's First Amendment rights, and they refuse to identify themselves. I have our own video from yesterday, and nothing ever happened, because I believe that I think you guys here you guys mostly put by the mayor, and y'all don't want to cross the mayor, so nothing ever is going to happen to those guys and gals, or you guys don't want to do anything about it. This is getting ridiculous. And like I said, they're going to go to the wrong person, and it's not going to be my fault. I mean, I made this clear today. I think a lot of people very soon to make this more clear about the NYPD executive detail, and this has to stop. You know, you guys need to start investigating these guys, because these guys are real crooked. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say thank you, Mr. Johnson, for your comments and taking the time to come to us and speak. I was listening for whether it rose to the level of fatal. So, John, I did want you to jump in, but I also did want to clarify in terms of our board. So, our board, there are 5 people that are appointed by the mayor, but there are 5 by the city council. There's 1 by the public advocate, and then there's 1 that's a joint commission by the mayor and by the city council. So I just want to let you know that we're not all appointed by the mayor.
Yeah.
And so it's designed in order for us to be as fair and balanced as possible. Go ahead.
Mr. Johnson, have you filed a complaint with the agency yet? Not yet. I mean, I'm just media. I'm just recording the event. Okay, so there's investigators here right now. Rob, I see could you meet with Mr. Johnson and take down his information, and we'll interview and...
Yeah, I was a witness yesterday to it, so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Rob,
perfect.
Excellent. Thank you.
I got you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think he may want to wait and hear for the next speaker, and then maybe both of them do it together. So I want to be patient.
My next?
Yes,
sir.
Oh, sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Raul Rivera. I'm a Bronx native. I'm the founder of NYC Drivers Unite. I'm an advocate for the taxi drivers, the TLC drivers here in the city. I'll try to take advantage of the 4 minutes. We usually don't get that much time. So at the city council, they give you 2 and then just cut you right off. Just so you know, just a few points that I got down. We opposed Intro 586, the How Many Stops Acts. We was against that. We advocated against that. We have a lot of council members and elected officials that believe that the NYPD needs to be abolished. We say no to that. I'm not here defending the cops, but we're using common sense. We can't have a city without cops. Congestion pricing. We have the city council always talking about defending people of color and equity, but none of them are speaking about congestion pricing that's going to affect the New Yorker. So we ask the city council to stop gaslighting us, to stop saying they defend people of color, especially the transportation committee, because we have a chair that is mute. She doesn't have a voice when it comes to congestion pricing. They like to say that it's a state issue, right? It's a state issue, but when you catch the 2 train or the 5 train, you catch it right here in the city. You don't go to Albany to get the 2 train. And the fact that they're council members and they're not being vocal, they're not advocates. They don't speak for New Yorkers. And we testify at the council many times. We let them know. They don't speak for the New Yorkers. Also, Adrienne E. Adams, a speaker, she don't speak for the New Yorkers. She was for that 586. We had 34, I think it was 34 supermajority that overrode the veto, and that bill passed. They call themselves the Progressive Caucus. What I call them is Oppressive Caucus. That's what they are. They're oppressive. Yesterday I was at City Hall. We was giving testimony at a transportation hearing, and as I was leaving, I noticed that the mayor was having a press conference. So I took the opportunity to stand there and just see what was going to be said, because he was having an online. So he was online talking about how social media is toxic to kids. So I stood there and I wanted to see what he had to say. He was going to take questions from the media, and his security detail approached me. They already know who I am. I know the mayor personally. I have his phone number. Many of the council members. They approached me. They know that I'm vocal, and they escorted me. They use rough tactics to get me out of there. They're saying that I need a press pass, that it's only the press that are allowed to be there. And I said, that's not true. I'm a native New Yorker. I was born in this city. I'm 54 years old. The city council knows who I am. I have every right to walk and move about my city. And they censored me yesterday, and we came here to file a complaint. Apparently that doesn't fall under the CCRB, and we're disappointed that it doesn't. I mean, you could be actually grabbed physically and thrown out of City Hall when there's video proof what happened to me, and I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything, and I think that's pretty despicable. And the mayor doesn't have the guts to face me, because I would tell it to his face. He knows it. I have his phone number. I could text him. I don't do that. We send him some videos sometimes. We did support the mayor when he was running for office, but no more, because he would not lift those vaccine mandates. He's for congestion pricing, and he's for the developers. He's not helping the New Yorker. He signed our petition to reform the Tax and Limousine Commission, and he's not standing by his name. And we're going to continue to be vocal. We hope the CCRB could do something to protect our civil rights when we go to City Hall and we speak. I was referred over to the Internal Affairs. We went over there and we filed a complaint. We don't hate the cops. We don't completely trust them, but we need cops in the city. And if people want to try to censor me, I'm just going to be more vocal. And I think it's pretty despicable that the mayor will use his security detail to have me escorted out of City Hall. Thank you so much.
So the CCRB doesn't have jurisdiction over the mayor and the city council. We do have jurisdiction over the NYPD, the uniformed members of the NYPD. So
I understand
if you and Mr. Johnson would just wait a little bit, we have an investigator who's going to take a statement from you, and we can investigate the conduct of the police officers who you encountered yesterday. And after the investigation, we will tell you what we found out. I understand you have your side of the story, but we have to get all the information from not just you and any other witnesses, but from the police officers too. And once all the evidence is gathered, the investigator will synthesize that evidence, put it in a report to this board, and then either this board or a panel of 3 board members will make a determination.
Well, regardless of what you guys cover or you touch on, but they are the cops. They are NYPD officers, so that's why I'm here. I want you to be aware of their behavior, and in particular, the mayor's behavior. You know, I can text them and let them know that that's uncalled for, but he should not be doing that. They know me. These officers know me. They should not do that. They should not censor me like that and escort me out of City Hall.
So I just want to be clear, we will investigate the conduct of the police officers you encountered yesterday.
Right, we do have a complaint that was already filed, and this gentleman here is a witness to that. But there's a lot of things that are going on. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm struggling to stay in my city. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to survive in the city I was born in. I slept in my vehicle. I slept in hotels and motels. I'm currently living with a friend in Brooklyn. I'm a native from the Bronx, and we're losing access to our city. We're being pushed out. And I'm not asking for special treatment, but as a native New Yorker, give me that. Let me stay in the city where I was born in. Let me leave if I want to leave. Don't push me out. Don't censor me. Let me Let me be who I am. Let me be the New Yorker that I am. I love this city. I don't hate this city.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rivera, for your comments. And as our executive director said, we're available in order to hear the complaints from you and your colleague. Do we have anyone else who would like to make a comment, if they could step to the podium? Anyone else, part of the public comment period? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion. No?
Are you going to do the minutes now?
Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the December board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? I should have asked that first. Okay. All right, so then, hearing none, I'm going to ask for all those in favor of approving the December minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the December board minutes are approved. I'm going to also ask for a motion to approve